But Gilgamesh called the smith and the armorers, all of them together. They admired the immensity of the horns. They were plated with lapis lazuli, 2 fingers thick. They were 30 pounds each in weight, and their capacity in oil was 6 measures, which he gave to his guardian god, Lugunbanda. But he carried the horns into the palace and hung them on the wall. Then they washed their hands in Euphrates, they embraced each other and went away. They drove through the streets of Uruk, where the heroes were gathered to see him, and Gilgamesh called to the singing girls, "Who is most glorious of the heroes? Who is most eminent among them? Gilgamesh is the most glorious of heroes. Gilgamesh is most eminent among men." And now there were feasting and celebrations and joy in the palace, till the heroes lay down, saying, "Now we will rest for the night." When the daylight came, Enkidu got up and cried to Gilgamesh, "Oh, my brother, such a dream I had last night." Anu, Enlil, Ea, and heavenly Shamash took counsel together, and Anu said to Enlil, "Because they have killed the bull of heaven, and because they have killed Humbaba, who guarded the cedar mountain, one of the 2 must die." Then glorious Shamash answered to the hero Enlil, "It was by your command they killed the bull of heaven, and killed Humbaba, and must Enkidu die, although innocent?" Enlil flung round in rage at glorious Shamash. "You dare to say this? You who went about with them every day like one of themselves?" So Enkidu lay stretched out before Gilgamesh. His tears ran down in streams, and he said to Gilgamesh, "O my brother, so dear are you to me, my brother. Yet they will take me from you." Again he said, "I must sit down on the threshold of the dead, and never again will I see my dear brother with my eyes." While Enkidu lay alone in his sickness, he cursed the gate as though it was living flesh. "You there, wood of the gate, dull and insensible, witless, I searched for you over 20 leagues until I saw the towering cedar. There is no wood like you in our land. 72 cubits high and 24 wide, the pivot and the ferrule and the jambs are perfect. A master craftsman from Nippur has made you, but oh, if I had known the conclusion, if I had known that this was all good that would come out of it, I would have raised the axe and split you into pieces and set up here a gate of wattle instead. Ah, if only some future king had brought you here, or some god had fashioned you. Let him obliterate my name and write his own." And the curse fell on him instead of on Enkidu. With the first brightening of dawn, Enkidu raised his head and wept before the sun god. In the brilliance of the sunlight, his tears streamed down. "Sun god, I beseech you, about the vile trapper, that trapper of nothing, because of whom I was to catch less than my comrade. Let him catch least, make his game scarce, make him feeble, take the smaller of every share, let his quarry escape from his nets." When he had cursed the trapper to his heart content, he turned on the harlot. He was rused to curse her also. "As for you, woman, with a great curse I curse you. I will promise you a destiny to all eternity. My curse shall come as on you soon and sudden. You shall be without a roof for your commerce, for you shall not keep house with other girls in the tavern, but do your businesses in places fouled by the vomit of the drunkard. Your hire will be potter's earth. Your thievings will flung into the hovel. You will sit at the crossroads in the dust of the potter's quarter. You will make your bed on the dunghill at night, and by day take your stand in the wall's shadow. Brambles and thorns will tear your feet. The drunk and the dry will strike your cheek, and your mouth will ache. Let you be stripped of your purple dyes, for I too once in the wilderness with my wife had all the treasure I wished." When Shamash heard the words of Enkidu, he called him from heaven. "Enkidu, why are you cursing the woman, the mistress who taught you to eat bread fit for gods and drink wine of kings? She who put upon you a magnificent garment, did she not give you glorious Gilgamesh for your companion? And has not Gilgamesh, your own brother, made you rest on a royal bed and recline on a couch at his left hand? He has made the princes of the earth kiss your feet, and now all the people of Uruk lament and wail over you. When you are dead, he will let his hair grow long for your sake. He will wear a lion's pelt and wander through the desert. When Enkidu heard glorious Shamash, his angry heart grew quiet. He called back the curse and said, Woman, I promise you another destiny. The mouth which cursed you shall bless you. Kings, princes, and nobles shall adore you. On your account, a man, though 12 miles off, will clap his hand to his thigh, and his hair will twitch. For you will undo his belt and open his treasure, and shall have your desire. Lapis lazuli, gold, and carnelian from the heap in the treasury. A ring for your hand, and a robe shall be yours. The priest will lead you into the presence of the gods. On your account, a wife, a mother of 7, was forsaken. As Enkidu slept alone in his sickness, in bitterness of spirit, he poured out his heart to his friend. It was I who cut down the cedar, I who leveled the forest, I who slew Humbaba, and now see what has become of me. Listen, my friend, this is the dream I dreamt last night. The heavens roared and the earth rumbled back in answer. Between them stood I before an awful being, the somber-faced man-bird. He had directed on me his purpose. His was a vampire face, his foot was a lion's foot, his hand was an eagle talon. He fell on me and his claws were in my hair. He held me fast and I smothered. Then he transformed me so that my arms became wings, covered with feathers. He turned his stare towards me, and he led me away to the palace of Irkala, the queen of darkness, to the house from which none who enters ever returns, down the road from which there is no coming back. There is this house whose people sit in darkness. Dust is their food and clay their meat. They are clothed like birds, with wings for covering. They see no light, they sit in darkness. I entered the house of dust, and I saw the kings of the earth, their crowns put away forever, rulers and princes, all those who once wore kingly crowns and ruled the world in the days of old. They who stood in the place of the gods like Anu and Enlil stood now like servants to fetch baked meats in the house of Dust, to carry cooked meat and cold water from the water skin. In the house of Dust which I entered were high priests and acolytes, priests of the incantation and of ecstasy. There were servers of the temple, and there was Etana, the king of Dish, whom the eagle carried to heaven in the days of old. I saw also Samukan, god of cattle, and there was Ereshkigal, the queen of the underworld. And Bedfit Sheri squatted in front of her, she who is recorder of the gods and keeps the book of death. She held a tablet from which she read. She raised her head, she saw me and spoke, Who has brought this one here? Then I awoke like a man drained of blood, who wandered alone in a waste of rashes, like one whom the bailiff has seized and his heart pounds with terror. Gilgamesh had peeled off his clothes. He listened to his words and wept quick tears. Gilgamesh listened and his tears flowed. He opened his mouth and spoke to Enkidu. Who is there in strong-walled Uruk who has wisdom like this? Strange things have been spoken. Why does your heart speak strangely? The dream was marvelous, but the terror was great. We must treasure the dream, whatever the terror, for the dream has shown that misery come at last to the healthy man. The end of life is sorrow. And Gilgamesh lamented, Now I will pray to the great gods, for my friend had an ominous dream. This day on which Enkidu dreamed came to an end, and be laid stricken with sickness. One whole day he laid on his bed, and his suffering increased. He said to Gilgamesh, the friend on whose account he had left the wilderness, Once I ran for you, for the water of life, and I now have nothing. A second day he laid on his bed, and Gilgamesh watched over him, but the sickness increased. A third day he laid on his bed. He called out to Gilgamesh, roused him up. Now he was weak, and his eyes were blind with weeping. 10 days he laid, and his suffering increased. 11 and 12 days he laid on his bed of pain. Then he called to Gilgamesh, My friend, the great goddess cursed me, and I must die in shame. I shall not die like a man fallen in battle. I fear to fall, but happy is the man who falls in the battle, for I must die in shame. And Gilgamesh wept over Enkidu. With the first light of dawn, he raised his voice and said to the councils of Uruk, Hear me, great ones of Uruk. I weep for Enkidu, my friend. Bitterly moaning like a woman mourning, I weep for my brother. O Enkidu, my brother, you are the axe at my side, my hand's strength, the sword in my belt, the shield before me, a glorious robe, my fairest ornament. An evil fate has robbed me. The wild ass and the gazelle that were father and mother, all long-tailed creatures that nourished you, weep for you. All the wild things of the plain and pastures, the path that you loved in the forests of cedars, night and day, murmur, let the great ones of strong wall Uruk weep for you. Let the finger be blessed, be stretching out in mourning. Enkidu, young brother, hark, there is an echo through all the country, like a mother mourning. Weep all the paths where we walked together, and the beasts we hunted, the bear and hyena, tiger and panther, leopard and lion, the stage and the ibex, the bull and the doe, the river along whose banks we used to walk, weeps for you. Ulav Elam and dear Euphrates, where once we drew water for the waterskins, the mountain we climbed where we slew the watchman, weeps for you. The warriors of strong wall Uruk, where the bull of heaven was killed, weep for you. All the people of Eridu weep for you, Enkidu. Those who brought grain for your eating mourn for you now. Who rubbed oil on your back, who mourn for you now. Who poured beer for your drinking, mourn for you now. The harlot who anointed you with fragrant ointment laments for you now. The women of the palace who brought you a wife, a chosen ring of good advice, lament for you now. And the young men, your brothers, as though they were women, go long here in mourning. What is this sleep which holds you now? You are lost in the dark and cannot hear me.